Professor, and then this may be a little bit of a loaded question for a researcher, but there has been research on methane gas emissions from especially cattle and genetics trying to manipulate the cattle's genetics to have them release less methane gas. What are your opinions about that, and what do you think in terms of cattle and climate change? Do they contribute that much as is being said out there?
Okay. Yeah, look, when it comes to these issues, I must say this from the get-go. One needs to rely on evidence and correct information, because there's a lot of incorrect information, opinions out there. And that's why we are in this business. That's why I like what I do, because we generate that evidence, right? So there are facts that are undeniable. Cattle produce methane, yes. Methane is a greenhouse gas, which causes climate change. Those are facts. You can go anywhere and you cannot deny that. But then cattle are part of the economy. We eat, a lot of us eat meat. Animal protein is the is more valuable than plant protein. That's a fact. So cattle, sheep, goats, ruminants, which produce a lot of methane, also produce meat, right? So the important thing is to balance now. I don't think the solution is to say, stop eating meat. I don't think you solve the problem of methane, because I think you still have cattle roaming. There are other ruminants that are out there anyway, that are wild, for example, also producing methane. Also, you must think of how are we producing the meat? If we're going to cut down the trees in the Amazon or in our African rainforests, those are carbon sinks. We're going to contribute to climate change. So if we cut down those trees, we are removing the carbon sinks. At the same time, we are also changing that environment. Then we grow crops, then we take those crops, and then we feed to the animals. That doesn't also sit very well. So one has to look. But cattle eat grass. I mean, they eat grass. They can be raised on grass. You can, and again, this is a fact, you can raise cattle on grass and produce meat, right? And feed people. So you have to balance then, how much of grain do we need to feed animals? Grain that could also be consumed by people, by the way. How much of our animals can we put out on pastures and produce meat, and therefore cut this cycle where you are going to Brazil, chopping all the Amazon, producing a lot of maize, a lot of soya, feeding them to your animals, and then contributing again to the problem. So you have to look at the whole system, and we do have. This is one of the things we've done over the last 10 years. We've introduced what we call interdisciplinary science within agri-sciences, where we look at systems, food systems, and say, we're not going to concentrate on one thing and say, oh, cattle produce methane, so stop eating meat. We're not going to go for those one sentence slogan types of solutions, because they do not work. You have to look at the whole system, look at where you're producing positive things and where you're producing negative things, and try to get a balance. These are complex issues. Complex issues have no solutions. That's how they are defined. So that is how you look at an issue like methane production from cattle or from ruminants, that if you look at the whole system, there are positives and there are negatives. And how can you maximize those positives? And I think we can start doing that. And our students love that because the young people love interrogating systems in that fashion. And I really enjoy teaching that course because now they suddenly see the world the way it is, not confined to the disciplines that we are teaching them when they start out. So that is really the way we're dealing with it, looking at it as a complex problem and then unpacking it, and then trying to make sure that you accentuate the positives over the negatives.
Professor, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. And have a great day. We're looking forward to see the results coming from the department under your very capable hands.
Thank you so much.